All right, guys, today we are going to focus a little bit more on something I touched on yesterday, which is the development of your pre-shot routine. So, you guys now have completely overhauled golf swings. If you've been going through these sessions and doing exactly as I suggest, you're definitely seeing some changes. And from what I'm hearing from those of you who are reaching out, everybody is changing, has changed their golf swings. So, the hardest thing that I hear, or the biggest thing that I hear from people outside of just I want to be more consistent, is I can do it on the range, but I can't take it to the course. And so the last few sessions have been talking about how to get your mind in a place where you can believe that you can score a little bit better, because if you don't believe that you can score a little bit better, you definitely aren't going to score better. It's just a fact, and it's annoying, but it is something that can also help us. And an example of that is when Tiger was in his long stretch of dominating on the PGA Tour. There's this really cool stat that was after making a bogey, what was the average score on the next hole? And Tiger Woods led that category his entire career. Meaning, when he made a bogey, the very next hole, he would make a birdie. Almost every single time. And the reason for that is because Tiger never believed he should be over par. So, since he was 9 years old, his dad, I think when he was even younger than 9 probably, his dad was building the golf course in a way that he could shoot par and under par and under par. And he just never stopped shooting under par. So when Tiger makes a bogey, there's this subconscious kind of paradigm belief that says whoa, we're in uncharted territory. We do not belong over par. Let's get rid of that and let's make a birdie on the next hole. So that's why these last few sessions are so important, and we're going to continue to talk about building that self-belief and how you can do things to build that self-belief, not just mentally, but based on your actual physical ability. But this session is taking you from, as I said, the swings that you're making now and being able to do those at home or on the driving range and taking those to the course. And the way we do that is we get fully in tune with our intention in the present moment at the time that you're making the swing. So the last session was a kind of a virtual round of golf where you just go to the course in your mind and you play from the driving range mat, or you hit a foam ball or a real golf ball into a net, and you say, all right, on the first hole, what would be a good shot for me here? And then you play the shot. I'm going to go a little bit further into detail on your session today, on what you're going to do in your drill today. So we're going to do the same thing, essentially, but I want you to get really, really in tune with your pre-shot routine. And so it's really, really simple, but we need to get the language right, and we need to get the mission and the intention right, so that every time you go to hit a shot, you go through the same process. And that process is designed to bring out your best golf swing. So what's the process? Well, I talked about it a little bit yesterday, or in the last session. The process is really simple. One, we need to engage the creative place in our mind, which is very different from the analytical place in our mind. And the creative place also lives where the athletic place is in our mind. So we need to engage that creative, athletic place in our mind before every shot, and it needs to not only be engaged so that we're not in the analytical place or we're not thinking analytically. It needs to be engaged, but it also needs to be very focused on something that's going to help us. So it's one thing to just not be analytical, but it's a completely different thing to be non-analytical and focused on the task at hand. So there's 2 questions that you have to ask before every single shot. And when you do your drill today, which again is just going to be playing 18 holes without the putting, you're going to hit a tee shot, then the approach shot, then a tee shot, then the approach shot. Par 3 is obviously just a tee shot. You're going to ask these 2 questions. Number 1, what would a good shot look like here? So that means when you're standing there at home or on the driving range mat, and then eventually when you're actually playing, you're going to say to yourself, or ask yourself to paint a picture. What would a good shot look like here? So you'll visualize, as soon as you ask that question, you'll answer it. Your brain will paint a picture and answer that question. What would a good shot look like here? And then you see that shot. That's the first question. What would a good shot look like here? And the reason those are the terms. What would a good shot look like here? Not perfect, not on another golf course, but here and good. What would a good shot look like here? The second question is, how does that feel? So, what would the shot look like? And then how does it feel? And the how does it feel part is really important, because once you make that picture, it should or could and can develop a sensation in your body or a feeling in your body. So for me, as soon as I see a picture, I all of a sudden feel my impact alignments. They just it's like a built-in programming. It's like, what would a good shot look like? Oh, it looked like that? Well, that feels like this. So what would it look like and how would it feel? What does a good shot look like here and how does that feel? Those are your two questions to ask before every shot. And I mentioned it in the last session, but this time I want us to be more focused on this and even more tuned in to these questions. And by the end of your session today, when you do this drill, it's going to take you a tiny bit longer probably because you might be fighting some outside thoughts coming in. That's okay. But really intend to get those questions answered before you hit every shot. And the really cool thing about this session, and we're going to continue in this way the next few sessions, the really cool thing about playing golf this way is you're making the number of strokes you make that day if you play a round of golf this way is the exact number of little micro meditations that you'll be making. So let's say if I go play and I shoot 72, I've made 72 little 18-second meditations where I've put myself in a present, conscious, intentional state. I've taken away and gotten rid of all the possibility of analytical thought by creating a picture in my mind and a sensation in my body. That is a meditation. And it feels amazing to play golf this way. As great as it feels to meditate, as good as we feel after a meditation or after some conscious yoga, that's how golf can be. So this is like my favorite gift to give people, is the ability to take golf and make it, it's this wonderful, great game that we love to play and we love to be out there with our friends and we love the equipment and we love all the stuff that's involved in golf. But when it becomes a series of meditations throughout the day, it can change your life. And it can change your life because as you get better and better at being focused and present and intentional and in tune with your body, you also become more aware when you're not present and focused and in tune with your body. And that is a really valuable thing to have in your life. So, I hope you guys can take this one really, really seriously. I probably could have done this video in a lot shorter time span, but I want you to know this is a really, really valuable lesson, and it's not the foundation, but it's a big layer to what we're gonna do when we get out on the golf course. And if we really wanna shoot the scores that we're capable of, this is the gateway to that. It's the gateway from a driving range swing that's really good to performing that way on the golf course. All right, so I'm gonna say the two questions again. Number one, for every shot that you hit in your virtual round today, play all 18 holes without the putting. For every shot you hit, ask yourself the first question: what would a good shot look like here? Once you see a picture in your mind, the next bit is, how does that feel? And as soon as you feel it, and you see it in your mind, and you feel it in your body, doesn't matter to me really how you get there fully, 100% sure and intent and focused on that picture and that feeling. Once you have those two together, it's time to swing. It's time to hit the shot. All right, that's it for today. I hope you guys really see how valuable this can be, not only in your golf games, for your performance in your golf games, but it turns golf into this new beautiful thing that makes your life better. So, that's it. Happy golfing virtually today, and happy micro meditations.